The doctor is in. Suicide is responsible for more than 800,000 deaths, or one suicide every 40 seconds. Today is World Suicide Prevention Day, and joining us is the co-creator of Access Consciousness, author and global changemaker, Dr. Dain Heer.
Thanks, Gail. Great to be with you.
Oh, we're so excited to have you on the show. And this is such a serious subject. The growing rate of suicide is concerning. And do you think a big part of this is the uncertainty or social media or kids not feeling like they're enough and trying to fit in?
I'd say all of the above. The difficulty is kids now, because the teenage suicide rate has been skyrocketing for the last several years. And I think that's primarily due to the idea that kids don't see that we have a future. They see what's going on in the world and they're highly aware of it because kids tend to have a really high BS meter. And so regardless of what they're told, they tend to know what's going on underneath the surface. And a lot of them don't see hope for a future.
Yeah, and they have access to really see what's going on through so many different avenues. Tell us about your story. 20 years ago, you were actually battling depression and suicidal thoughts, and you were able to turn your life around. I follow you as you speak and through social media. How did you get there?
Well, I was at a place in my life where I had been unhappy, suffering, and depressed for almost 3 years in a row without it relenting. And finally, I got to a point where I said, universe, I need something different. Otherwise, I'm out of here. And I planned a date to take my life. I came across something called Access Consciousness. I had a session of Access Consciousness bars. Now, I was living in California, so you do all kinds of weird things in California. That's normal there. And it's a light touch technique on the head. And it took about an hour and 15 minutes. I went into it depressed and suicidal. I came out of it with a gratitude for being alive, and I never contemplated killing myself again. It changed that much in an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, that is incredible. So how do people find this? I mean, you just said that you had access this in California. Is it now more widely used?
Yeah, it's actually in 176 countries around the world now. And you can go to accessconsciousness.com/bars, BARS, to find somebody near you, because there are people all around the world. And the thing is, we've done studies on it and found that it decreases anxiety, stress, and depression by an average of 87% with just one session. And so it does something that's really phenomenal. It's the reason I'm still here. But what it did for me was I had such a change that I wanted everybody in the world to know that was possible, because I had so many friends who were suffering with depression and stress and anxiety. And I realized that, wow, we can actually change this stuff. And that's also a message of hope I'd like to bring to our young people and our old people and everybody in between, is we actually can change this. We just need to address it with something that actually works to truly change it.
So how do we start the conversation with our children? And by children, I know that really is a wide range. They could be young, young kids and, maybe up into their 20s or even more. I mean, how do you start the conversation?
Well, the first thing we need to do is recognize that we have, like our parents taught us, we have learned to grow up. We've taught our children right and wrong, good and bad. So we've essentially taught them to be in a constant state of judgment of themselves, and that there are things that they can choose that are bad, and that's why they shouldn't choose them. What we need to do is acknowledge to our kids, it's not right or wrong, good or bad, but your choice creates something. What did that choice create? And from that space, what we do is we talk to our kids and go, hey, no matter what you tell me, I want to be somebody who's here for you. I want you to know that I have your back. I want you to know that anything you do or anything you've done, I will be one person in your life that doesn't judge you. And come from that place and start to have conversations with our kids. Ask them about their day when they get home. Talk to them and let them know, you know what? I do realize that I tried to be the parent that my parents were. I didn't like it any more than you do. I'm turning over a new leaf today. I'd like to be your friend and your parent and show you how to navigate this crazy world. And I'm not perfect, but I would really like to be there by your side to help you navigate it. Let's get through this thing together.
That is so beautiful. Do you have any words of advice if someone's dealing with a person or a loved one that they're worried about, that they might take their own life?
Well, I say if it's at that place, the first thing I would suggest is actually getting professional help, because suicide hotlines don't only provide for those that are in that space, but their loved ones to know how to have a conversation. So if it's there, get the help you need. And we need to realize there's no shame in asking for help. There's not one of us on this planet that is perfect. Asking for help may be the thing that actually changes your life. And also, what you want to do is seek out the resources and ask, okay, what can I do? Where can I go? What can I look at to get the information I need to know how to be there for this person? And okay, so let's say we don't seek professional help, et cetera, and you have somebody like that in your life. It can be as simple as, hey, are you okay? I just want you to know I'm here for you. And I want you to know that I really love you. And anything you have going on, you can tell me. And I promise I won't judge you. And if you need me to, I will sit here and shut up and you just vent everything that's going on. Because one of the things that goes on for people who get to this place is they have no one to talk to and they have all this stuff building up in their head and they can't let it out. Sometimes the beginning is just them vomiting it out, if you will, and letting it out, which takes some of the weight off their shoulders as you listen with a caring ear, with, once again, no judgment.
So if people want to find the same kind of resource that really dramatically changed your life, can they go to drdainheer.com? I mean, do you have a way for us to gather information?
Yes, absolutely. And I literally have hundreds of videos that are free, that are my attempt to gift back to people and pay this forward. So go there, there's all kinds of stuff and you'll see. And what I suggest is go there, check it out and just go, ooh, that, have a play, have a play. Let's have a play.
I love it. I love it. Well, Dr. Heer, it was such a pleasure to have you on Bloom. What an honor to meet you. Thank you so much for joining us.
You also. Thank you, Gail.
All right, we'll be back with more Bloom right after this.